That was a good message from the morning man. But let's start the news from some health financing point of view. And out of some 26 million Ghana cedi budget submitted by the Pantan Psychiatric Hospital to government for the running of the facility this year, it has so far only received just 330,000 Ghana cedis. Now, the medical director of the hospital, Dr. Frank Benin, says the paltry sum is negatively impacting healthcare delivery at the facility. Speaking at a ceremony where the hospital received an electroconvulsive machine, critical equipment for psychiatric treatment from the International Central Gospel Church to mark their anniversary.
Medical Director of the Pantan Psychiatric Hospital, Dr. Frank Benin, is displeased with the current state of the facility. One of the biggest worries is frequent shortage of medication for psychiatric patients. It is therefore common for patients to relapse after they had made progress.
So if you come to my hospital and the environment is so good, if somebody comes to hospital and they're not getting the medicines they need or the lab tests, it is because government is not providing for the money. My hospital submitted something around 26 million. So far, I hear there has been new releases. I would say 1,030,000 Ghana cedis. Even the 1 million I'm talking about, 700 has just come. So indeed, we received 330,000 so far. It's difficult. You've been to my hospital. That's how come you see the buildings that are deteriorating. That's how come you see the bad road network. That's how come you see the roofs that are leaking. That's how come you see the environment that is not very good. I mean, the food patients eat.
The Pantan Hospital has for more than 3 years been without electroconvulsive therapy machine, a critical device in the mental health care delivery. Patients are therefore transported from Pantan to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital to use the machine, but will however soon change. This is because the International Central Gospel Church has presented one ECT machine to the hospital.
Usually, it's not everything that we have. We have a lot of needs that we haven't been able to meet. And when it happens like that, it creates a huge gap in the service. So, for example, when we have patients who genuinely need the service, for example, we'll have to arrange to transport them to a place who have the service. So what we're doing at this very time was we're sending them to Accra Psychiatric Hospital for them to undergo the procedure. And unfortunately, that put a lot more pressure on the Accra machine, and then it also started breaking down. So I would say that for a long time now, in the whole country, people who needed a service were not getting it. We needed to try to use other means that were not as effective as this procedure.
So for those who were not likely to be transported to Accra Psychiatry, maybe for one challenge of vehicle or the other.
So what happens is, before they come in, then they are already unwell. So their response to treatment will be delayed, whereas this one will sort of give a quick surge for them to get well quickly. It will be delayed, and that is what we want. And the longer it delays, the more expensive the treatment is.
The hospital, which was established in 1975, is the biggest among the 3 psychiatric hospitals in Ghana. The hospital receives psychiatric patients from all over Ghana, as well as its neighboring countries, namely Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria.
Meanwhile, officials at the Osudoku District Hospital in the Greater Accra region say they're working to improve the quality of healthcare delivery for community members, despite being described as a possible benchmark for health facilities in Africa by the World Health Organization. Medical Director of the facility, Dr. Kennedy Brightson, says the hospital could keep upgrading its facilities with more support from external sources.
In April 2018, the World Health Organization identified the Shai Osudoku District Hospital at Aikuma as a possible benchmark for other health facilities in Africa in terms of infrastructure and service delivery. The WHO Regional Director for Africa, Dr. Machidisio Moeti, said the hospital had set a standard that was worth emulating nationwide and in Africa. But despite this enviable tag, hospital authorities say they are looking to consistently upgrade facilities to meet the growing needs of residents in and around Dodowa. Dr. Kennedy Brightson is medical director.
Needs are limitless. So every now and then, you need things to continue making your place beautiful. The beauty of this place is not static. It means that every day we keep on polishing up the place. Every day we make sure the place looks beautiful. It means that we need inputs, we need logistics. So if we stay and say that we are complacent, where we have reached is the end. The hospital is beautiful, so we should sit down. I bet you come in 2 weeks' time and you said everything is gone down.
He was speaking to pressmen after the hospital took delivery of equipment and food items from J Foundation, an NGO specialized in neonatal health advocacy.
So we need people to collaborate with us, like the J Foundation has done, so that continuously we shall offer top-class healthcare to the people of this country, particularly to the people of rural Ghana. We want to strengthen our neonatal intensive care units and bring it to international standards. That means that we need additional equipment. We need cots for the babies. Particularly, we need radiant warmers. We do not have a radiant warmer, not even a single one. We need a radiant warmer. We need phototherapy machines.
Founder of the NGO, Nakwoko Menegan, says though the hospital has an enviable record in terms of maternal and neonatal health care delivery, it was important to highlight the situation here to challenge other health centers to do more.
They needed food items, baby clothes, the normal things that we donate. So we decided to come with them, but they needed some special IVs, very tiny IVs for the babies. They also needed cleaning materials for the place. They needed tissue for the mothers. They needed a few items that helps to run the hospital. So we brought them. We also brought some medical equipment that will help the babies, like the pulse oximeters, the thermometers, digital weighing scale, yes, and the like. 26-week-old babies are able to survive at Shai Osudoku Hospital, and we wanted to encourage them to keep that up.
Hospital authorities want more support from individuals and groups to maintain the facility.
In the Upper West region, the treatment of persons living with mental disorders in the Dafiama Busie Isa district has been given a boost with the posting of a mental health officer to the district. Though there is a ban on the use of chains to restrain persons suffering mental disorder in Ghana, desperate family members who could not control their loved ones resort to chaining persons suffering from the condition to huge logs or the back of a tree. Since the arrival of the mental health officer, some 24 people who hitherto had some mental disorders had so far been treated, rehabilitated, and given money to go into some income to undertake some income-generating activities. Rafiq Salam was at the ceremony where the monies were given to them from the District Assembly's Disability Fund.
In a district or probably a region where psychiatry is virtually unknown, the chain is virtually often a last resort for desperate families who cannot control loved ones in the grip of psychosis or any other mental disorder. Ilyasu Idrisu is in his mid-30s and hails from Duang. In the past, Ilyasu suffered from substance abuse after years of hunger on marijuana. The ripple effect of the abuse of the substance is a constant insult, harassment, intimidation he unleashed on his family members. Unable to help or afford great treatment partly due to the absence of psychiatric nurses, most communities or families in the district, like that of Ilyasu, though aware of government's ban, use chains to restrain persons suffering from mental disorder. Ilyasu was chained to a log and in a dark room with little ventilation. The appointment and subsequent posting of Banakuma Anekletus to the district as a mental health officer gave some respite and changed the face of the treatment of persons with mental disorders in the district. He came to the rescue of Ilyasu. His leg that was chained to an over 80-kilogram log was meticulously and carefully carved out without hurting him. His treatment and rehabilitation process began with 23 other persons who had similar conditions. The Dafiama Busie Isa District Assembly, upon their rehabilitation as part of the Disability Fund, handed over monies ranging between 400 and 1,000 Ghana cedis for them to go into income-generating activities.
I don't know the words I will use to express the sort of relief I've had, because that is always the most joyful thing in life, getting patients well. And when they are better, have something to do. When they see you, even the thanks and the appreciations alone they give you, that alone makes you feel that you have achieved what your purpose of being a nurse.
DBI District Chief Executive Nadi Moro Sanda urged them to use the money judiciously.
That I entreat you to invest the money into productive ventures that will help uplift your living standard and welfare. Be informed that the monitoring team of the Assembly will conduct regular checks to ensure that the beneficiaries use the money for the purpose for which they were granted the fund.
DBI Public Health Director Haji Alijeta Saka was of the view that the money will help further strengthen their stability and make them responsible in the society.
If they are able to go into an income-generating activity, at least the profit that will be made can be used to pay for the drugs that are not covered by health insurance. And some can even use part to pay for their kids' school fees, which will go a long way to help them in society.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Isa.
Well, and before we end the bulletin, competing schools at the 2019 National Science and Maths Quiz on Sunday dropped the science and math textbooks for a picnic on the University of Ghana main field after the first week of draining contest. The 1/8 stage of the competition begins today with some nail-biting contests. Both current and old students of participating schools are optimistic of lifting the customized trophy. Here's Maxwell Agbagba's report from the picnic.
It's the 2019 National Science and Maths Quiz. Now, after 1 week of the rolling encounters during the preliminary stage of the competition, now it's time to de-stress here on the main field of the University of Ghana here at Lagos. Well, what is happening behind me? All kinds of games, football, table tennis, anything you want, you can find it right here. We have contestants of the competing schools, PAs, old students, present students, all of them are gathered here having fun.
I'm rapping at Buakwa State College.
Buakwa State College. You guys are still in the competition?
Yeah, we are still in the competition.
Which school are you competing against?
We are competing with Accra Academy and then TIMAS for Mina.
When is that competition?
That is on Thursday coming.
On Thursday? Your friend is from TIMAS for Mina?
He's from TIMAS for Mina.
I want you to tell him something.
So we want to tell him that actually I'm winning him in this contest. And perhaps history is going to repeat itself.
So this is a sign of what would happen.
Yes, surely on the day when we meet them, we are going to whip them massively. Massively.
Tell me, which school is winning the National Science and Maths Quiz 2019?
So it will sound like I want to be biased, but I think so far we have seen whoever wins the Butcher August School contest, so win. Even though my school is in the
school is St. Peter's.
Yes, the defending champions. I think they can do well. If they win, that's kudos to them. But let's see whatever happens.
School are you repping?
My school did not make it to this year.
Oh, your school did not make it. Which school is that?
Secondary College.
Oh, sorry. When was the last time you made it to the Science and Maths School?
Last year.
Last year?
Yes.
Okay. So, but at least you should support a school. So which school would you be supporting?
I want either a PAM or Chemu or even a girls' school to win.
Girls' school?
Yeah.
You think they can win?
Yes, I believe so. They should just up their game and be more confident. I think they will get there. Yes.
He's rooting for a girls' school to win. Since the inception of this competition, no girls' school has ever won the National Science and Maths Quiz. This year, a lot of people want a girls' school to win. I mean, we've been talking about a lot of dynamism, a lot of, women empowerment, which should start from the National Science and Maths Quiz.
But I guess you never know.
Well, that way it for the latest news headlines we have. We have more news, and myself, Mama Vioso Abuaje and Kojo will be looking at what stories are dominating front, back pages of the newspapers, and possibly look at the center spread and myjoyonline.com. Stay with us.